That delicious shrimp cocktail, a staple at parties for decades. You've probably enjoyed hundreds of them. But what if I told you that the very next shrimp you eat could be the one that's different, dangerously different? It sounds crazy, but for many over 55, a lifelong friend in food can become a sudden foe. In the next 20 minutes, we're not just going to scare you, we're going to arm you with the crucial knowledge about 3 silent risks, including one that can appear out of nowhere, and show you exactly how to enjoy shrimp safely. This isn't about removing a beloved food from your life. It's about understanding how our bodies change and how our choices should evolve too. The immune system you have at 65 isn't the same one you had at 25. Think of this as an owner's manual for a classic car. It runs beautifully, but you need to know which modern fuels work best. Shrimp, for all its benefits, can be a tricky fuel if you're not aware of these changes. We all know shrimp is a lean, healthy source of protein. That's absolutely true. But it's only half the story. The other half is what we're exploring today, the part often left out of health articles. If you want more clear-eyed looks at the foods you eat every day without hype or fear, take a moment to subscribe. Our mission here is to give you total confidence in your kitchen. Let's begin with the first silent risk. It's the most shocking because it can happen to anyone at any time, even if you've eaten shellfish your entire life without a problem. It's called adult-onset shellfish allergy. You might be thinking, but I'm not allergic to anything. Many assume allergies are fixed in childhood, but we now know our immune systems can change their minds at any point. So how does a friendly food turn into a foe overnight? Your immune system is a security guard. For decades, it recognized shrimp as friendly and waved it through. Then one day, for reasons scientists are still studying, the guard gets a new memo. It suddenly flags that same shrimp protein as a dangerous intruder. This triggers an allergic reaction as your body scrambles to defend itself from a non-existent threat. But what does that first warning shot actually look like? When we hear allergic reaction, our minds jump to someone gasping for air. While that severe reaction, anaphylaxis, is a real danger, it's often not the first sign. The initial warning from your body can be much quieter. It might be a sudden outbreak of hives, those itchy red welts, an hour after dinner. It could be a wave of nausea or stomach cramps you blame on something else. It could even be a strange tingling on your lips or in your mouth right after you eat. These are the quiet signals that are so easy to dismiss. We think, oh, I must have eaten too fast, or that sauce was a little off. We rarely connect it to the shrimp we've safely enjoyed 1,000 times. Herein lies the danger. A mild reaction one time can be a prelude to a much more severe reaction the next. Your body is sending a warning flare. Ignoring it is like ignoring a smoke detector's low battery chirp. It's a small annoyance now that signals a much bigger problem later. The takeaway here is simple awareness. The next time you enjoy shrimp, pay close attention to how you feel for a few hours afterward. If you notice anything unusual, even if it's mild, make a mental note. Don't panic, but don't ignore it. Mention it to your doctor. This simple act of listening to your body is the first and most powerful step in enjoying food safely as we age. Now, while that first risk comes from inside your body, the second silent risk starts thousands of miles away before the shrimp even reaches your plate. We're talking about contamination. Our immune systems become less robust over time and can't always fight off invaders with the same speed. This makes us more vulnerable to foodborne illnesses. One of the primary culprits in seafood is a type of bacteria called Vibrio. This bacteria lives naturally in coastal waters. In a younger person, ingesting a small amount might cause a mild stomach upset, if anything. But for an older adult, the same bacteria can lead to a much more serious infection. The key to avoiding this is non-negotiable. Your shrimp must be cooked thoroughly. This means it's opaque and pinkish white all the way through, with no gray translucent spots. A properly cooked shrimp cocktail is fine. Ceviche, where shrimp is cooked in acetic juice, is a risk you may want to avoid, as acid doesn't reliably kill all bacteria. But the contamination question goes deeper. It begins at the grocery store. Does it really matter which bag of frozen shrimp you choose? Yes, it matters immensely. The conditions where shrimp are raised can hugely impact their safety. Unregulated shrimp farms can be overcrowded, leading to disease. To combat this, some producers may use antibiotics that are banned in other countries. So how do you possibly navigate this? You become a label detective. First, look for the country of origin. Shrimp from the US and Canada are often harvested under stricter regulations. Second, for farmed shrimp, look for third-party certifications. Seals from the best aquaculture practices or Aquaculture Stewardship Council act as a good housekeeping seal of approval for seafood, adding a layer of reassurance. There's one more thing to look for on the ingredient list: sodium tripolyphosphate, or STP. It's a preservative that helps shrimp absorb water. This means you're paying for water weight, not shrimp. It also adds a hidden dose of sodium and phosphates, a concern for anyone managing blood pressure or kidney health. The best shrimp has only one ingredient: shrimp. Your action step is to spend 30 extra seconds reading the bag. This small investment can make a huge difference. This brings us to our third silent risk, one that directly affects millions of older adults. It's the connection between shrimp and two common conditions: gout and kidney issues. To understand this, we need to talk about purines. Purines are natural compounds found in our cells and in many foods. When our body breaks them down, it creates a waste product called uric acid. Normally, our kidneys filter this out. It's a perfect system until it gets overloaded. Some foods are extremely high in purines. Organ meats are the most famous example, but shellfish, including shrimp, are also high on the list. When you eat a lot of high purine foods, you force your body to produce a flood of uric acid. If your kidneys can't filter it out fast enough, the level of uric acid in your blood rises. And what happens when there's too much of something dissolved in a liquid? It forms crystals. Imagine tiny, sharp, needle-like crystals forming in your joints, particularly your big toe. That is a gout attack, an intensely painful form of arthritis. For someone prone to gout, a large shrimp dinner could be the trigger that leads to days of agony. It's not that shrimp causes gout, but it can absolutely provoke a flare-up. The risk isn't just about gout. Overloading the kidneys with uric acid puts extra strain on them, which is a key concern for anyone with reduced kidney function. What does this mean for your dinner plate? It doesn't mean a total ban. It means practicing mindful moderation. If you have a history of gout or kidney problems, you must discuss this with your doctor. For most others, it means viewing shrimp as a treat, not a staple. Instead of a dozen large shrimp, enjoy 4 or 5 as an appetizer or mixed into a vegetable stir-fry. Reducing the portion size reduces the purine load. The key is balance. We've covered surprise allergies, invisible bacteria, and the science of purines. Now let's bring it all together into the safe shrimp solution. This is your simple 3-step checklist for enjoying shrimp with confidence, summarizing everything we've learned. First, know your body. This is your allergy defense. Pay attention after eating shrimp. If you notice any new symptoms, no matter how mild, acknowledge it and tell your doctor. Your body is your best expert. Your only job is to listen. Second, know your source. This is your contamination shield. Be a label detective. Look for wild-caught U.S. shrimp or farm shrimp with certification seals like BAP or ASC. Check that the only ingredient is shrimp. And always, always cook it thoroughly until it's fully opaque. Third, know your limits. This is your defense against gout and kidney strain. Remember that for many, shrimp is best enjoyed as a delicacy. Be mindful of portion sizes. If you have a pre-existing condition, your limit may be 0, a crucial conversation for your doctor. For everyone else, moderation is the key. We've covered surprise allergies, invisible bacteria, and the science of purines. Now let's bring it all together into the Safe Shrimp Solution. This is your simple, three-step checklist for enjoying shrimp with confidence, summarizing everything we've learned. First, know your body. This is your allergy defense. Pay attention after eating shrimp. If you notice any new symptoms, no matter how mild, acknowledge it and tell your doctor. Your body is your best expert. Your only job is to listen. Second, know your source. This is your contamination shield. Be a label detective. Look for wild-caught U.S. shrimp or farm shrimp with certification seals like BAP or ASC. Check that the only ingredient is shrimp. And always, always cook it thoroughly until it's fully opaque. Third, know your limits. This is your defense against gout and kidney strain. Remember that for many, shrimp is best enjoyed as a delicacy. Be mindful of portion sizes. If you have a pre-existing condition, your limit may be 0, a crucial conversation for your doctor. For everyone else, moderation is the key. Now you might be thinking, but I've been eating shrimp my whole life and feel fine. That's wonderful, but our bodies are not static. Being proactive isn't about expecting trouble. It's about making small adjustments now to prevent big problems later. Another common question is about cholesterol. For decades, doctors warned against shrimp because of its dietary cholesterol. Well, the science has changed. We now know that for most people, saturated and trans fats are the real culprits for raising bad blood cholesterol. Shrimp has almost none. The true heart health danger isn't the shrimp, but how it's prepared, deep fried or swimming in butter. A simple grilled or steamed shrimp is a very heart-healthy choice. Finally, what if high-quality shrimp is out of your budget? That is a real concern. Focus on what you can control. If you opt for more affordable shrimp, pay even closer attention to finding a bag with a certification seal like BAP or ASC. And remember, your best defense is always proper cooking. Cooking thoroughly is the great equalizer, eliminating the most immediate risk from harmful bacteria. You now have a complete, honest picture of the risks and rewards of eating shrimp after 55. This knowledge transforms confusion into confidence. If this kind of clear, step-by-step health guidance is what you've been looking for, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way, you'll never feel overwhelmed by confusing health advice again. You can make choices that are right for you, based on sound evidence. Food should be a source of joy, not fear, and with the right knowledge, it always can be.